Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever and whatever time that this recording finds you. I am going, oh, thanks for joining me, your girl, Unique Air. I'm going to try not to be so starchy. I need to relax. Thank you for joining your girl, Unique Air, your spiritual, metaphysical death doula, talking about principles that will help you in this world and the world beyond. All is mental, all is spiritual before it even becomes physical, before it even manifests in this 3D world. Thank you again for joining me. I will be coming out of this book yet again, another chapter, and it's being hidden. Anyway, it's called As a Man Thinketh, and the author is James Allen. So I'm going to go into the chapter of vision and ideals. Now we know I've done a couple of chapters from this book so far, and we know that everything is thought. Nothing happens without thought, my friend. This world couldn't have been created without a thought. So, thoughts are very important, and it is fundamental that you understand that. Okay? All right. So, visions and ideals. The dreamers are the saviors of the world, as the visible world is sustained by the invisible. So men, through all their trials and sins and sordid vocations, are nourished by the beautiful visions of their solitary dreamers. Did I not just say that? I didn't even read this yet. That's how I know spirit is working. So this world is created by the dreamers, those who think and those who watch what they think. All right. Humanity cannot forget its dreamers. It cannot let their ideals fade and die. It lives in them. It knows them as the realities which it shall one day see and know. Composer, sculptor, painter, poet, prophet, sage, these are the makers of the afterworld, the architects of heaven. The world is beautiful because they have lived. Without them, laboring humanity would perish. And let me go a little further to say that because I read somewhere before too that it's called the summer land by the indigenous or the Indians. It's this land in the astral realm where whatever your vision was on earth of what you thought heaven would be, guess what? People who thought like you, they're going to be there. And that place does exist. For example, in the Christian church, what do they say heaven is going to look like? What do they say heaven is going to be like? Well, if you think that when you leave your body, that's where you're going to go. So it is so true that as a man thinketh, so is he. And I will go further to say that as a man creating his mind, so it is. He who cherishes a beautiful vision, a lofty ideal in his heart, will one day realize it. Columbus cherished a vision of another world and he discovered it. Copernicus fostered the vision of a multiplicity of worlds and a wider universe and he revealed it. Buddha beheld the vision of a spiritual world of stainless beauty and perfect peace and he entered into it. Cherish your visions, cherish your ideals, cherish the music that stirs in your heart, the beauty that forms in your mind, the loveliness that drapes your purest thoughts. For out of them will grow all delightful conditions, all heavenly environment. Of these, if you but remain true to them, your world will at last be built. Isn't that wonderful to know that you create your world? You don't have to be a part of someone else's creation. I mean, think about it. I'm sorry, y'all. Just hold on a minute. I mean, think about it. The Bible gives the ideal of a heaven. Who wrote that? Where did that come from? I mean, my idea of heaven is not babies flying around with wings and beasts with eyes all around their body, streets of gold, and saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Jesus, hallelujah, all day for forever. That's not my reality. There is no hell for me. I don't believe in it. And guess what, my friend? If you don't want to believe in it, you don't have to. It's your choice. You create your reality. That's all this is saying. To desire is to obtain, to aspire is to achieve. Shall man's basest desires receive the fullest measure of gratification, and his purest aspirations starve for lack of sustenance? Such is not the law. Such a condition of things can never obtain. Ask and receive. Dream lofty dreams. As you dream, so shall you become. Your vision is the promise of what you shall one day be. Your ideal is the prophecy of what you shall at last unveil. You, nobody else, my friend, you are in control. The greatest achievement was at first and for a time a dream. The oak sleeps in the acorn, the bird waits in the egg, and in the highest vision of the soul, a waking angel stirs. Dreams are the seedlings of reality. And I would say that that's true. Now, I am a vivid dreamer. I dream every night. And some of my dreams come true, and I read somewhere and I know in my spirit that if you don't dream, that's a problem. Because when you're sleeping, your astral body should be about doing what it needs to do, taking care of business, solving problems, going to other worlds. That's what should be happening. But if you're not dreaming, then that means spiritually you might be a little cut off. Okay? That's important to dream. Yeah, just wanted to say that. It says here, your circumstances may be uncongenial, but they shall not long remain so if you but perceive an ideal and strive to reach it. You can't travel within and stand still without. Here is a youth hard pressed by poverty and labor, confined long hours in an unhealthy workshop, unschooled and lacking all the arts of refinement. But he dreams of better things. He thinks of intelligence, of refinement, of grace and beauty. He conceives of, mentally builds up an ideal condition of life. The vision of a wider liberty and a larger scope takes possession of him. Unrest urges him to action, and he utilizes all his spare time and means, small though they are, to the development of his latent powers and resources. Very soon, so altered has his mind become that the workshop can no longer hold him. Come so out of harmony with his mentality that it falls out of his life as a garment is cast aside. And with the growth of opportunities which fit the scope of his expanding powers, he passes out of it forever. Years later, we see this youth, a full grown man. We find him a master of certain forces of the mind, which he wields, and with worldwide influence and almost unequaled power. In his hands, he holds the cords of gigantic responsibilities. He speaks, and lo, lives are changed. Men and women hang upon his words and remold their characters, and sun-like, he becomes the fixed and luminous center round which innumerable destinies revolve. True story. When you conquer life through your thoughts, after a while you become the leader and you're teaching others how to do it, how to change their lives. I forgot the author of the book, Think and Grow Rich, but I had a friend that got that book a few years back, and I saw that man change his life. He kept saying, get that book, Think and Grow Rich. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you get it. Let me see what you're going to do with it. And he did something with it. And I'm like, okay. So we learn from others, and it catches on until it becomes contagious. Teach each one, reach one, each one teach one. Nobody's better than the other. We all to think properly so we can create this heaven on earth that we want, so that we can create this world that we want. He has realized the vision of his youth. He has become one with his ideal. And you too, youthful reader, will realize the vision, not the idle wish, of your heart, be it base or beautiful, or a mixture of both, for you will always gravitate toward that which you secretly most love. Into your hands will be placed the exact results of your own thoughts. You'll receive that which you earn. No more, no less. You're gonna get what you work for. Whatever what you work for in the spirit with your thoughts, you're gonna get that. Whatever your present environment may be, you will fall, remain, or rise with your thoughts, your vision, or your ideal. You will become as small as your controlling desire or as great as your dominant aspiration. In the beautiful words of Stanton Kirkham Davis, you may be keeping accounts, and presently you shall walk out of the door that for so long has seemed to you the barrier of your ideas, and shall find yourself before an audience, the pen still behind your ear, the ink stains on your fingers, and then there shall pour out the torrent of your inspiration. You may be driving deep, and you shall wander to the city bucolic and open mouthed, shall wander under the intrepid guidance of the Spirit into the studio of the Master. And after a time, he shall say, I have nothing more to teach you. And now you have become the Master, who did so recently dream of great things, driving sheep. You shall lay down the saw and the plane to take upon yourself the regeneration of the world. I think that's understandable. This reading here is like, I don't know. Sometimes with the commas, the punctuation, it's like, what, but we pretty much get it, right? We get it. The thoughtless, the ignorant, and the indolent, seeing only the apparent effects of things and not the things themselves, talk of luck, of fortune, and chance. Wow. Only thoughtless people, ignorant people, and indolent people see the apparent effects of things. And they always talking about luck, fortune, and chance. When you don't even have to have luck, fortune, and chance. You just need to think properly. Seeing a man grow rich, they say, how lucky he is. Observing another become intellectual, they exclaim, how highly favored he is. And noting the saintly character and wide influence of another, they remark, how chance aids him at every turn. In other words, he's so lucky. Chance, he always gets good chances and things like that. They don't see the trials and failures and struggles which these men have voluntarily encountered in order to gain their experience, have no knowledge of the sacrifices that they've made, of the undaunted efforts that they have put forth, of the faith that they've exercised that they might overcome the apparent insurmountable and realize the vision of their heart. They don't know the darkness and the heartaches. They only see the light and joy and call it luck. They don't see the long and arduous journey, but only behold the pleasant goal and call it good fortune. Don't understand the process, but only pursue the result and call it chance. And all there are results, and the strength of the effort is the measure of the result. Chance is not. Gifts, powers, material, intellectual, and spiritual possessions are the fruits of effort. They are thoughts completed, objects accomplished, visions realized. Vision that you glorify in your mind, the ideal that you enthrone in your heart, this you will build. This is you will build your life. By this you will become. And that's the chapter on visions and ideals. Just the way you think. The way we think is why this world is the way it is now. Being influenced by media, in any form, whether it be music, television, movies, putting out all these abominable things. That's why these days you got to be careful what you watch, what you listen to, what you take in. We always think, for the most part, that consumption is actually eating, but consumption is the company you're around. You're consuming their energy. Consumption is what you're looking at. Consumption is what are you listening to? Yeah. Hmm. Let's go into this next chapter. Serenity is the last one of the first portion of the book, okay? This says, calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. It is the result of long and patient effort and self control. Its presence is an indication of ripened experience and of a more than ordinary knowledge of the laws and operations of thought. A man becomes calm in the measure that he understands himself as a thought evolved being. For such knowledge necessitates the understanding of others as the result of thought. As he develops a right understanding and sees more and more clearly the internal relations of things by the action of cause and effect, he ceases to fuss and fume and worry and grieve and remains poised, steadfast, and serene. So a man becomes calm in the measure that he understands himself as a thought evolved being. You ever been around somebody, and I've always been that kind of person, though at the time I wasn't reading books about it, but even like in situations if somebody died in my family, I was never emotional. I was just always like, hmm, I believe that, I'll see them again, or I just wasn't emotional like that. I was always calm. Hmm. This is true. I'm just testifying to the truth of this. The calm man, having learned how to govern himself, knows how to adapt himself to others, and they in turn reverence his spiritual strength and feel that they can learn of him and rely upon him. The more tranquil a man becomes, the greater in his success, his influence, his power for good. Even the ordinary trader will find his business prosperity increase as he develops a greater self control and equanimity, for people will always prefer to deal with a man whose demeanor is strong and equable. The strong, calm man is always loved and revered. He is like a shade giving tree in a thirsty land or a sheltering rock in a storm. Who doesn't love a tranquil heart, a sweet tempered, balanced life? It doesn't matter whether it rains or shines or what changes come to those possessing these blessings, for they are always sweet, serene, and calm. That exquisite poise of character, which we call serenity, is the last lesson of culture, the fruitage of the soul. It is precious as wisdom, more to be desired than gold, yeah, than even fine gold. You ever been around somebody that's just so calm and sweet? That would be great grandma or grandma. That's the old school grandma, because we know the grannies today want to compete with the young girls, right? But you be around somebody, or your grandfather just had a strong, silent spirit. You knew no matter what happened, they weren't going to overreact, but they were going to tell you to remain calm. And you felt at peace in knowing that they were at peace. That's that serenity. That, my friend, is serenity. Says here, how insignificant mere money seeking looks in comparison with a serene life, a life that dwells in the ocean of truth, beneath the waves, beyond the reach of tempest, in the eternal calm. Yeah. How many people we know who sour their lives, who ruin all that is sweet and beautiful by explosive tempers, who destroy their poise of character and make bad blood. It is a question whether the great majority of people do not ruin their lives and mar their happiness by lack of self control. How few people we meet in life who are well balanced, who have that exquisite poise, which is characteristic of the finished character. Yes, humanity surges with uncontrolled passion, is tumultuous with ungoverned grief, is blown about by anxiety and doubt. Only the wise man, only he whose thoughts are controlled and purified, makes the winds and the storms of the soul obey. Tempest tossed souls, wherever ye may be, under whatever conditions you might live. Know this, in the ocean of the life, in the ocean of life, the isles of blessedness are smiling, and the sunny shore of your ideal awaits your coming. Keep your hand firmly upon the helm of thought. In the bark of your soul reclines the commanding master. He does but sleep. Wake him. Self-control is strength, right? Thought mastery. Thought is mastery. Calmness is power. Say unto your heart, peace, be still. Even in the midst of the times that we're living in right now, with all this going on and with the stock market and the change in guard and the reset and people leaving here left and right and, prices are rising, peace be still in your heart, in your mind. The heart ain't nothing but the mind, brothers and sisters. That's all it is. Because this physical heart is a blood pump. It just pumps blood. But your mind, you have a, God, it's just so much to say. I'm going to get it together. It's so much to say. I feel, in the spirit realm, there ain't no talking because you don't have a mouth. It's all about feelings, exchanging of thoughts and colors. And I'm going to get into that book about the astral realm. And on the other side, you can't hide nothing. You can't hide nothing. That's why it's best just to be honest. It's best to be honest about everything. And sometimes I feel like I go back into my spirit self and I just want to convey the thought with a look or with I feel it. I feel it. There's nothing wrong with having feelings, but you got to be careful of your emotions because emotions is energy in motion. And that's how people, when they have temper, stuff like that, that's energy in motion. They're not thinking, they're not still, they're not calm. So on that note, thank you for joining me for another quick reading. Let's see. The next part I'm going to go into is the Master of Destiny. Deeds, character, and destiny. Yeah, talking about fate and all of that. But so yeah, just remember, stay on the up and up. Keep your thoughts positive. Peace be still. Serenity, calm. No matter what the situation, you are in control by what you think. All right. So don't let MSM, mainstream media, get you all up, fluffed up and angry about things that's happening in the world. Don't let your people get you like that. Keep that peace, that calm, that stillness. Thank you for joining me again for another reading. Your girl, Unique Air here, signing out. Peace.